Yeah, what's going on everybody? TJ here, and today's my first day at the new Pennsauken Skatepark. It's hot as hell out today, but there's not too many people here. I'm excited about this new park. Let's get some warm-up tricks, and then we're gonna try something new.
All right, so to start off the day, I found this little mini gap, I guess you could call it. Quarter pipe to quarter pipe. I was trying to manual up all the way around and come back into the bottom section of the park.
That shit was fucking crazy.
Then I went over to the Oververt wave. This is actually an Oververt feature, pretty crazy feeling. I was trying to get a pivot on the top. As you see here, I was so close to getting my wheel just up to the very tip right there. And you see that one, like almost the entire wheel is up and over it. Just got to get that truck to clip. I found sometimes it's good to like visualize what exactly it is that I'm trying to do. So that was kind of like a mental thing right there. Close. Then I started getting actually the truck onto the top of the coping there, and it felt so good. Once that happened, I was like, all right, we are really close to making this happen. Love those little screeches.
That's dangerous, man.
There it was. Fully on there with the truck. So crazy feeling. A little replay.
Oh my god.
For the proof.
Alright, I'm definitely gonna take that one. That was way harder than I expected it to be. So we're gonna have to keep that. Let's get something else.
Alright, then I went over to this down rail. That was my first attempt at board sliding it. I've done down rails in the past, but it's far and few between because I don't usually find a good feature to try them on. That's my attempt number 2. I just kind of rode up and started staring at it, trying to visualize myself landing on the rail. Skateboarding is super mental. If you can utilize your mind, you can do a lot on your skateboard. Okay. I actually jumped at it that time. Both of those last two, I kicked the board out. I wasn't really fully committing. I was just trying to get the motion. That one, I was feeling, once I did that, I was like, oh yeah, this is gonna happen.
Alright, I literally just landed it and my camera overheated or something. I'm gonna go back and get another one. It wasn't too clean, but I did right away. So let's get one for the footage. Fuck.
There it was. That was 2 in a row. And then 3 in a row.
Alright, that's 3 in a row, but 2 on camera. Stoked about that. Let's do one more street trick and then we'll go back to doing some transition.
So, as you can see, I'm trying to get comfortable manualing this manu pad. So funny to me that it took me so many tries to get a manual after landing the down rail and pivoting on Oververt, and then I can't even manual this little box. There it was. It took forever to get. Now to try the actual trick that I wanted on it, this nollie 360 shove to manual.
Alright, so it is actually now day 2. My other battery broke when I pulled it out of my GoPro. It literally, the battery top of it, the top of the battery actually pulled off. So had to end it at that session there until I was able to get the battery pulled back out of my entire GoPro. But we're back here today for day 2. Let's go see if we can get that nollie 3 shove to Manny, and then we'll continue on.
That was a pretty good one. It's really tricky because you want to focus on not only getting the shove, the 3-shove, but also landing it in a manual. So it's important to really like keep in mind that you want to keep your body weight back. That was a pretty good one. I just wanted one that was going to be like all the way to the actual end of the box, because I don't know, that was my goal. That's what I was aiming for. But yeah, really interesting thinking to land in the manual and just keep yourself leaned back, like keep your body weight a little bit back. Boom, there it was. A little slow-mo. So much fun. I love doing that trick.
Alright, I don't think I'm going to be happy if I leave here without dropping in on the vert quarter pipe, so I'm just going to stop thinking about it and just go do it.
Okay, so I know it seems like I just kind of like sat down for a quick second in this video and then went over and tried to drop in on this, but I was really thinking about this not only the first day, but all of this day that I was back here too. Got it. The trick that I found for dropping in on things that, especially really steep things, it's great to not think about it and to just, you know, you can drop in. If you can drop in, you already know you can drop in. Just go up there, put the board down and put it down. Just make it happen and you'll really surprise yourself. Dropping in is super scary, but really, really easy. It's just majorly a mental battle.
All right, definitely stoked on that drop in. All right, so for something new, I've never really done anything on pool coping before, except for like really crusty DIY pool coping. This is legit. So we're gonna see if we can get an axle saw on it in the bowl. Let's get it. So this is actually pretty steep. I'm gonna try and just axle drop in first to get the feel of coming back in on it.
This quarter pipe was actually so steep. Got a little 50-50 carb grind back there on the deep end. That was fun.
It's so hard to turn into it because of this bump. Look at the board angle.
There it was. I was so stoked to get that.
Yes! Oh shit, dude, I'm stoked that I just landed that. Brand new trick. First axle on pool coping.
So I initially planned to just do more axle stalls, but right there I got really close to a feeble and I was like, wow, I could probably feeble. Fell off on the bottom on that attempt. There it was. Got the feeble stall.
Alright, so I did film an outro that day at the skate park, but the wind just got way too bad and it was really hard to hear what I was saying. So I'm making this new outro right now. I wanted to just kind of give some tips and some advice and explain what it was that made me be able to land that axle stall on the pool coping. So the pocket in that pool is a lot steeper of a quarter pipe than I'm used to, and the coping definitely extends out farther, and then there's that like bump over because of the pool coping. It kind of like loops down. It was a little bit tricky to get used to that. Definitely starting from the top and axle stalling in, like starting on the axle stall and then just riding it into the pool, that definitely helped tremendously. I definitely recommend trying to learn tricks by landing out of them. If it's a trick that's possible to do, practice the landing part, so that way when you get the intro part, you already know how to come out of it. Because it was so steep, it definitely required the body weight to stay a lot more in the ramp. So definitely want to keep your shoulders are like huge in skateboarding. Definitely keep your shoulders more in the ramp, so that way you don't fly out onto the deck too far. And definitely turn your front shoulder, whatever that one is for you. Definitely turn that front shoulder nice and far, because you want to be able to really pull it into that axle stall so you don't go into feeble. It's actually easier, in my opinion, to land into a feeble than it is to land into an axle stall. Harder to come out of a feeble than an axle stall, but easier to get into it. So if you're trying to get the axle stall, you definitely want to really turn them shoulders. Alright, and as you can see, I've really tried with this video to provide a lot of extra value and show you guys what it was that was going through my head and what I was doing to try and land these tricks. It's a new concept that I'm trying with these videos, to add a little bit more value into my videos, so they're not only just entertaining, but even a little bit more valuable for you guys. Alright, I hope you guys liked this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. And if you want to see more progression, because this whole channel, I'm always trying to learn new tricks and share my experiences and my battles with you guys, as well as skatepark tours, how-tos, and reviews, then make sure to subscribe to the channel. Don't forget to also hit the bell so you're notified on my next video, and I will catch you guys on the next one. Later.